Now, now, I want to take my time and go through these horns. I didn't explain them, but I want to go through them and explain them again because there's part that connects the part of the Bible when you see these things are thousands of years apart or hundreds of years apart, and the horns showed up in one revelation, another revelation, another revelation. You know this is the hand that works of God. None of us, no man could do this on his own. The things that I'm speaking and showing you through the Bible prophecy is the thing that God has showed to me. And done so, now I'm able to distribute these and show you. Because there's other parts that I got to go through. Just like I say, I'm in the due process, in the process of rewriting the Bible. And you know, when God called me to be a prophet, there was nothing I knew about a computer. There's nothing that I knew about creating in recording studio. There's nothing that I knew about DVD burners and the equipment I have to use with these things. But as proof that God called me, He brought me out, and apparently He done showed me how to do these things. It shows that He set me in time and set before me these things to bring me out and to reveal unto you the true meaning of a prophet. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and neither was I born with a golden cup in my hand. But the Word of God, who came to me when I was a child and spoke to me about this certain matter, and when that preacher came to me, confirmed this. And so now I'm on the journey to fulfill His mission up here, up on the earth. Let me get started on Daniel chapter 7. I'm going to show you what racism started. But you have to understand, you got to calibrate the time at hand and to calibrate with the time where we came from. You got to know what to set pattern, and you can't look at this as a myth because it was set there in time for a purpose. We saw the racism, how it began, how it was here in the United States of America, and it was centered against the black man. And at that time, I didn't know as we gained our freedom, and I was born, I didn't know the significance of the black man and the white man. I didn't know there was a difference, even though my mother had spoke concerning these facts. But I looked at her just like if people look at me. So, no, it ain't so. But now I found out it is so. So, as I go through this year, I've used the word white and black so much, and until you would think that I have a racial overtone, but I do not. This has been excluded from Bible prophecy for so long to make us think that we was not a part of the creation of the human race. And some of us believe that. Some of us sit up and say, well, Cain went out and had turned by a gorilla. My mother had turned before she passed away and stopped saying that. But she forgot what she had taught us when we were young. But after I became an age and God called me and talked to me, and I speak concerning white and black so much, it seemed as if I got a racial overtone, but it's not. But it's something that has been hid from the eyes of the men. The black people is afraid to speak it because they think of what repercussion it would cause if they speak certain things. But these things is showing up today during the Tea Party and all other accusations against our president, who is the first black president, until you see that this racial overtone is coming back up again, just like God said that in Revelation chapter 13, that the head was wounded to death and it came back alive again. In other words, the thing that we experienced through racism that was centered against the black by the white race is coming back up again, and we can see it in the quotations and the accusation when they sit. And this man said Barack Obama is the worst president that the United States ever had. It was more of a racial overtone than actuality and facts. Because out of all the presidents we've had, this first man who happened to be black, Dan Quayle's son, I listened at him over the news, said President Barack Obama was the worst president the United States ever had. How did he know? How do I know? Only thing we read about the former president is what history teaches us. Only thing we know about what Abraham Lincoln did, George Washington did, is what history teaches us. We see that the Constitution was rolled up in part when we were still slaves. So how can we quote a quotation saying our forefathers, and we was not a part of the establishment, and we was not recognized as human beings when we was brought over here as slaves. So how can we cling and say, with a sound judgment and a sound mind, say what our forefathers did? Our forefathers came over here in chains, and we was bound by the hands of their forefathers. So how could we sit before and say something just to have a saying to make another man feel good when we have a quotation about our forefathers? Well, God said in Revelation chapter 13 that the head which was wounded to death will come back alive again, meaning the head that had the sense of mind and create a genocide even in Germany and even in the United States of America, which ran around with hoods over their face, and they murdered our people and they hanged our peoples. It will come back alive again. We see this when they come up with the Tea Party. We see this in the mindset of the people when they speak out against God's people over there, and they create a genocide in the name of peace. We see this. We don't have to live a lie of delusion, because if we do, sooner or later we're going to give an account. We're going to have to answer to this in judgment of Jesus Christ. We're going to have to do this, and I can't take no shortcuts and sit and say this is not going to happen. It is. This is the reason we, as a peoples of the earth, must come to a conclusion what God we're going to serve and which one we're going to reject. Because there's no way that you think that this is a race that man set up, that you can ride your horse all the way to the end and you can jump over on somebody else's horse and ride across the finish line and win the race. The horse you ride now, if you don't change and get over him and get on the other horse, and you know what I'm speaking about, none battle. None battle. If you don't change the way you think towards people, not the people of your house, because that is expected of you to treat your family members good, the people in the United States good. But where our reward comes from, when we can see eye to eye with the peoples, it doesn't matter what part of the planet they came from, we can see eye to eye to the just man and rule over the unjust man. This is where we have arrived.